There's talk that obesity in the UK is a time bomb waiting to go off. It's estimated that in 5 years' time, nearly a third of adults in the region could be obese, and that could end up costing the NHS up to £5 billion. Weight loss surgery in the West Midlands has increased tenfold in the last 6 years. If no action's taken, we could all be counting the cost. But a new piece of technology could play a big part in helping to inform people with weight management issues. The time has never been more urgent to take a closer look at our bodies. Obesity is a rapidly increasing problem, with almost half the region's men overweight and nearly a quarter of our 11-year-olds classed as obese. Weight management is one of today's big health issues, with a growing number of people keen to shed excess weight.
In the last couple of decades, the levels of obesity have pretty much doubled within the UK, and the numbers who are classed as morbidly obese is actually pretty much doubled as well. The most concerning thing is really childhood obesity. We're potentially looking at a generation of individuals who will not actually live as long as their parents.
Heartlands Hospital in Birmingham is leading the way in tackling weight problems. Traditionally, body mass index, or BMI, has been used to calculate whether a patient is overweight. But now a new measure, the body volume index, calculated by a BVI scanner, is being pioneered as a more accurate indicator. NHS Local invited 2 women, both classed as overweight on the BMI scale, to put the scanner to the test. Charlotte's 5 foot 3 inches, weighs 10 stone and has a BMI of 25.5.
I play rugby for a local rugby team, keep fit and healthy doing that, and go on the occasional run myself. So I know that being an active person, I am relatively fit.
But according to her BMI, Charlotte is still classed as overweight.
I think you try and put it in the back of your mind really, but it's always there. It doesn't make you feel too great about yourself, knowing that you're short and quite large.
Safina is slightly shorter at 5 feet 2 inches, a little heavier at 11 stone and has a BMI of 28.3.
It doesn't do much for a person's self-esteem or your confidence as such. Even when I was fit, according to my BMI, I was overweight. I don't want to be overweight.
So with both women being of similar height, weight and BMI, how will they compare on the new BVI index? It's time to put the scanner to the test. Charlotte's the first to try it out.
That's perfect, and look straight ahead and I'll close the curtain, and if you can pass out your dressing gown for me, I'll let you know when it's going to start. Okay, the scan will be starting in just a moment. The BVI scanner works like a photocopier. It uses no radiation, it's just safe white light technology. That's great, that's nearly done. If you just stand really still for me, Charlotte. It uses 32 scanners and sensors and takes about 30 seconds to complete the process.
BVI was originally developed for the fashion retail industry in the late 80s. The scanner analyses 300 different points on the body to create a 3D model.
Perfect.
As Charlotte awaits her results, it's Safina's turn to step into the scanner.
Just pop yourself into the scanner there. You can see the footprints on the floor.
Yep.
Alternative to BMI, it doesn't just look at height and mass, it looks at the difference in gender, ethnicity, shape, and importantly weight distribution. So looking at your abdomen, your pelvis, your thighs and chest to see which carry the most volume. It's important to remember that muscle weighs more than fat, and the BVI scanner can differentiate between this.
The area that we're interested in predominantly is the abdomen. Now, the reason we're interested in this is because we know that the higher the abdominal volume or the higher the waist circumference, the more likely individuals are to have metabolic problems and consequence of those metabolic problems such as heart attacks or strokes.
So what does the BVI scanner tell us about our volunteers' body weight? Let's get the lowdown from Dr. Rahim.
You can see quite clearly, really, I hope, that Your body shape is actually pretty good. Most of the fat that you do have is around sort of your bums and your thigh area. And if we look at the abdominal volume, your abdominal volume is only about 10%.
Yep.
Okay, which is very good because that's pretty low. And I suspect that your BMI is elevated predominantly due to the fact that you've got quite a large amount of muscle bulk rather than anything else. Your body shape is very good.
It's good to know. The BVI is just showing that it's completely different to what my BMI is. And speaking to the doctor shows that I am fit and healthy, and where I'm holding a lot of weight on my body, it's actually muscle mass rather than fat.
So will Safina's news be as good?
How are you doing? Now, if you look at the scan, your abdominal volume currently is 14%, which is probably higher than it should be. And what that suggests is that most of the fat that you gain is generally within that abdominal area. Okay. Now, unfortunately, that's the bad fat, and that's the place where you don't want fat.
Yeah, definitely.
And therefore, it's important that you try and work hard to try and reduce your weight, and certainly around the waist area.
All my life, I've had BMI drilled into my head. And BVI, I think it's a lot more accurate. It actually tells you where the areas are that you need to work on. And that's what I needed to know.
Giving what's claimed to be a more accurate measurement of health risks associated with weight, the new BVI scanner is seen as a quick and cost-effective tool to help tackle the region's obesity problems.
What we're trying to develop is a system which is age, gender and ethnicity specific, and will allow us to identify those individuals potentially who are at increased risk of having medical problems in the future. So really the time to act is now, before it's too late.
I feel relieved. Being told that you're overweight's never a nice thing to be told, but that's being told on a graph and on paper, as opposed to looking at a body image of yourself, but looking at the volume. You can see that you do look fine. I'm a lot happier walking away than what I was walking in today.
I feel a lot happier about the results that I've got today because I know where I got to focus. And I think that's the main thing, no matter what it is. If you know where you're focusing, you can achieve it, and I want to achieve it.
You can see Safina using her BVI measure to help her with her weight loss programme elsewhere on NHS Local.